Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us tonight to hear a little bit more about the Bachelor of Science in Food and Resource Economics, also known as the FRE program, here in the Faculty of Land and Food Systems. We're really grateful to come to you today from the traditional and unceded territory of the Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, and Musqueam First Nations. The Land and Food Systems faculty is committed to working with Indigenous communities and students in our curriculum and research, and the place in which we all are privileged to live, learn, and come together in appreciation of our programs and our studies is a really special place that I hope every one of you have an opportunity to acknowledge and experience as students here at UBC as well. Today, we're going to be covering a little bit about what the Faculty of Land and Food Systems is all about so that you can know a little bit more about the faculty in which the program of Food and Resource Economics is situated and get a sense of the community that we build here in this faculty to learn whether or not it would be a good fit for you and your learning style. And then we're going to do a bit of a deeper dive, as per the title of tonight's session, into the specific program Food and Resource Economics, as well as the two different majors that you could choose to pursue as a student in this program. And then the highlight of this evening is our three incredible guests who have joined us today, faculty, alumni, and a current student, Elton, Donglin, and Dr. Proctor, who are all here tonight to share their experiences with you as well. So I look forward to introducing them to you a little bit later on in the presentation. And then, of course, we'll hold some time for questions and have a chance for you to ask those burning questions you brought with you this evening. And then we'll also make sure you understand what the admission requirements and timelines are for submitting your application to UBC in this program into the future. My name is Christine Clary. My pronouns are she and her. I am the Director of Student Services in the Faculty of Land and Food Systems. In that role, I support a team of academic advisors, student engagement, as well as career support that specifically provides services and support for students studying in the Faculty of Land and Food Systems across all four of our Bachelor of Science undergraduate degrees, including the Food and Resource Economics program. Really excited to be with you today to share a little bit about this program and what I love so much about working in the Faculty of Land and Food Systems. So what is LFS? LFS is a small to medium-sized faculty at the University of British Columbia's Vancouver campus. It's a world leader in integrated research, education, and service, which aims to address critical global issues around human health and a sustainable food supply. It brings together students from across four different Bachelor of Science degrees, all focused on a foundation in science, but looking at that science through the lens of social impact. Whether they're studying food, nutrition, and health, animal biology, agriculture and sustainable agriculture, whether they're looking at food and resource economics, global health, a lot of topics that intersect with one another and feed into the concept of a food system. And it's really important to understand how we are approaching some of these challenges we're facing both locally and globally, and how we can collaborate together to find solutions and work to better the world around us. That's what LFS students are doing. I often refer to LFS students as scientists with squishy hearts, meaning that they are people who really do care about the people, the planet, the animals, and ensuring that the world in which you are entering and the world in which you are contributing gets better and better from the contributions that you're making. All of our programs really focus on the connection between all of these different aspects that we all live in. So this food system, from growing the food, producing the food, consuming the food, feeding a growing population, dealing with some of the ethical challenges that we're all facing, climate change, food insecurity, food deserts, really trying to understand the impact of some of the choices we're making as a society and the downstream impacts of that on those around us, and trying to find really good ways in which to address them through the different programs that students are studying. The studying occurs through integrated learning, practical hands-on learning through field trips and labs, a lot of group work, which can sometimes scare some students because it sometimes feels really comfortable, and certainly through high school may feel most comfortable for you to be independently working on a project or an assignment But in university, you're really getting the opportunity to branch yourself out into those group work style experiences. And that's a real focus of LFS. I'm sure you'll hear from all three of our presenters today, and I can certainly speak from my own experience that very rarely do you go into a career where you work in a silo and completely independent and by yourself. You are often collaborating across a team with colleagues, across units, across departments within a system like healthcare or agriculture or government, where you're needing to negotiate and collaborate in order to find solutions and work together with people who may share different opinions than you, come in with different experiences, have different ideas on how to move solutions forward. And so having the opportunity to practice working in a collaborative group setting in the safe environment that is a university and classroom setting is a really valuable piece of your learning that is a hallmark of your learning within the Faculty of Land and Food Systems. You can also earn credit through doing things like career experiences and internships through things like co-op or practicums as well, which is a really exciting way to customize the learning in a way that feels really comfortable for you and helps you to build both your academic and your non-academic experience as you're getting ready for that workforce after graduation. So what comes to mind when you think of food and resource economics? You can just enter your answers into the Zoom chat. Food and resource economics is a really exciting program. So it is something that we're just curious to know a little bit about what your ideas of food and resource economics are. So yes, math, economics, understanding how resources move, global transportation, excellent. Tariffs, yes, that's a very popular one these days. Data, excellent. So these are all really good points to bring forward and certainly will show up in some of the deep dives that we're going to do tonight. So food and resource economics as a general overview is a degree that spans topics related to economics, data analysis, and physical sciences. So looking at economic policies and how they are impacted by international food markets, biodiversity conservation, sustainable food systems in this ever-changing climate that we're all facing these days, looking at all of the skills that you need that I talked about before, like working in groups and all of that interdisciplinary work. So pulling in ideas from different disciplines to find solutions and address the challenges that we're facing. And then also looking at business and economic models that help us to inform us in how to move forward in advancing and protecting the food and resource systems in which we are all living and needing on a day-to-day basis. You really do build skills and adaptability and communication, and opportunities to develop your cultural competencies will also show up across your classes. That foundational understanding of science is a common thread across all programs within LFS, but you really do have the opportunity to apply that knowledge through hands-on experiences and work collaboratively with community partners and disciplinary peers to explore these global issues. You really do get to understand, gain a more deeper understanding of the global food market and different sectors of the global food supply chain, and really get to tackle issues about the food system and environmental challenges. No matter where in the world it is that you're joining us from tonight, we are all impacted by environmental changes, food systems. There are a lot of conversations happening right now in terms of how we address these things. Some of you mentioned tariffs, that's having an impact on how products are moving and being traded or shared from one country to another. Those of you who may have lived here in British Columbia may have experienced the atmospheric river we had a few years ago, which wiped out roads and flooded farms and decimated crops and prevented transportation of goods between communities. And it had really highlighted for us just how vulnerable some of our communities are. So being able to really understand how products and move and how we feed each other and how we manage this global system is a really important and foundational part of this degree, and a really exciting and important work that all students and faculty members and researchers are contributing to. There are two different majors that you can choose when you come into the Bachelor of Science in Food and Resource Economics. You do not need to make this decision in first year, but it may help get you excited and help you to better understand the direction that you could go. Data analytics is one, business and markets is the other. So let's take a bit of a deeper dive into the two. Data analytics provides you with fundamental skills to address issues in the food and environmental sectors based on applied economics and data analysis. So, this is where you're going to really deep dive into data. If you're into softwares and coding and analyzing data and really wanting to use that as a foundation for decision making, there's a lot of focus on evidence based decision making in any career that you pursue. And being able to understand and analyze data is a really important and critical skill for any job that you might have moving forward. And it's really important for critical issues like resource depletion, biodiversity loss, and climate change. If any of these issues resonate with you, it's something you're concerned about, have questions about, or otherwise passionate about contributing solutions to, this might be a really great foundational program for you. It allows you to find trends within environmental outcomes and then develop the solutions to address those challenges. These are some of the careers that graduates from this major have gone into. This is by far not an exhaustive list. It is hard to provide an exhaustive list of careers that LFS and FRE students go into because your skill sets are so diverse and foundational and are going to prepare you for a career. What job it is that you get after graduation is largely going to be determined by your interests, and over the course of your undergraduate degree, tapping into your interests through your course selection, getting involved in research, doing a co-op placement, working with professors, getting inspired by a volunteer experience, whatever it may be. All of those experiences are going to add up to that first step into the job world after graduation and could lead you into careers working in agriculture economists or economy, in public policy, or maybe becoming a trade analyst, working on with different companies, organizations, industries, government in risk management, a data analysis, or a resource economist. I'm sorry, pronunciations are just off tonight. So there are a lot of different ways in which your degree is going to prepare you to succeed in whichever career path it is that you choose. But through the data analytics major, your main skill set or the area of foundation that you'll have a great strength in is working in producing and analyzing data. If, on the other hand, you're more interested in interactive relationships between the food and natural resources, the environment, and addressing real world food challenges, then the business and markets major might be a really good fit for you. It doesn't mean that you get to get rid of data, that you don't analyze it and you don't talk about it and use evidence to inform decision making, but this major allows for you to focus on addressing these challenges in terms of policy and outcomes, benefits and costs of various green business initiatives, thinking about the food supply and ensuring that that can be increased without sacrificing the environment. So looking at things in more of like a social impact as well as kind of theoretical and conversational type way. So it's a really great option if you're interested in these types of topics that you have the ability to choose between the two different majors. Students who go through this major are often moving into business development, analyzing business and food markets, market development manager, working as an analyst in agricultural investment, working as an analyst around climate policy or agricultural policy. So working more on the policy side, development side, ideation, bringing people together towards solutions and utilizing the information that maybe the data analytics major students are preparing for you so you can make informed decisions. Those are the majors that are available to you. And I think we're very fortunate tonight to bring even more experts into the room so that you have an opportunity to learn a little bit more about what it's like to actually study in the Food and Resource Economics program. I'm really honored to introduce you to Dr. Jonathan Proctor, who's an assistant professor in the Food and Resource Economics program, who's going to share a little bit about his experience teaching in the program and give you a bit of insight into what learning in LFS and an FRE program could be like. Dr. Proctor, over to you.
Hi, thanks so much, Christine. Yeah, my name is Jonathan Proctor. I'm an assistant professor in food and resource economics in at LFS here at UBC, and I've really loved being here. As Christine said, the faculty is super nice, the community is really welcoming, and it really is a joy to come into work every day, especially when I get to teach courses and work with and learn from students. My background is as an environmental economist. I study essentially how global agriculture responds to changes in weather and climate. So if it's really hot or really dry or flooded, how does that impact agricultural production, and how does that in turn lead to changes in food prices and kind of availability of food for people at the supermarket. Um, Personally, I love enjoying the many wonders of nature around UBC. I love fishing and mushroom collecting, hiking, and rock climbing. So it's really a joy to be here in this space. Um, the One of the courses I developed coming here to this program that's that works within the more data analytics side of the FRE program, but students from both tracks take it, is called spatial data science. And in that course, you learn practical data science skills to be able to understand relationships between variables and really think spatially. So how how do temperature and crop yields associate differently in different parts of the world? How can you think of trade between countries as a network that you might optimize spatially, and so on? And so part of the course is teaching you kind of the fundamentals of coding and data analysis, and then really applying that to real world problems. Um, the way that that application occurs is through interactive lab assignments. That's really kind of the main meat that the course digs into. And so through 7 labs throughout the semester, you learn to analyze patterns using example things like filling in air pollution measurements in places where you don't have stations. You learn how to extract information from satellite imagery. For example, how do you measure income based on what a population looks like from imagery? So basically, looking at Google Maps, could you teach a computer to say this place is richer than this place, or this place is poorer than this place? Um, and so there, you're also learning to leverage some machine learning tools in a spatial context. Um, One example of those labs is one where we were focusing on the concept of calculating distances and optimizing policies. So in the next slide, you can see um, uh, the location of an airport in Oahu. And the question is, how well could helicopters flying from this airport respond to shark attacks? And so the helicopters can only fly a given distance. And so first you can calculate, okay, which areas of the Hawaiian Islands would be protected based on helicopters flying from this airport. Then in the next slide, you can see uh, how that area of protection would change if you put another airport in. And so then in the lab, you can play with putting the airport in different locations, seeing which areas would be protected. And then in the next slide, you would calculate the distance from each airport to the nearest person that needed to be rescued, and then solve a simple optimization to place the airport in the best place it could be possibly placed. So, how would you select where to put it such that you're minimizing the cost of saving people, and that you're saving as many people as you could? So, through these types of exercises, you learn these kind of applied skills. Um, yeah, and so the course in general tries to tackle real world challenges through spatial data to inform decision making, and that is really an example kind of what the FRE program tries to do more generally.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for sharing that. I think that if you need a staff member to go to Hawaii to see the heliport in real life, that I'd be more than happy to sacrifice and go there on behalf of the faculty. Um, thank you so much for sharing a little bit about that class. I know I always learn something new, and hopefully, all of you watching are also getting inspired to think about, oh, I didn't know that that's what that was, or I didn't know that that was something we could do. And I think that Jonathan's class is a really great example of that hands on practical learning, real world cases, looking at things through the lens of technology and through data, but also looking at real world cases so that you're very prepared for what's going to come for you down the road. And down the road could be one of the stories or one of the outcomes of our esteemed alumni who's joined us here today. We are going to be taking questions through Slido, which is an online platform where you can post questions for Jonathan or our two student guests tonight. You can go to slido.com and enter the hashtag FRELFS or scan the QR code, and we'll be transitioning into the Q&A after you get a chance to meet our alumni and our current student. So one of our FRE students went on to go into graduate school, and we're really excited to have him here today. Donglin, I'll turn it over to you to introduce yourself and share a little bit about your experience in FRE with the group.
Thank you, Christine. So, I'm gonna share my. So, hi, everyone. I'm Donglin. I'm just graduated from FRE this I think May. Yeah, this May, and I'm now study in the Master of Food. Like I'm FRE. So like for the FRE, my experience is this program is interdisciplinary program. You can gain some knowledge from economics, forestry, business, finance, as some like and so on. Then like you can choose the courses based on your knowledge because you can choose like there are wide options you can choose from. And overall, I think the FRE program is pretty helpful and like give me some insights which I didn't have before. For example, I'm from like my hometown is China. My home country didn't really care a lot of animal welfare. But when I'm studying FRE, I learned something about the animal welfare, especially like the policy. So this will give me like the oh my God, this animal welfare knowledge is quite interesting. I think it's quite insightful. And apart from that, like yeah, FRE program, I think it's pretty fun. Also, I want to highlight the one of the my most memorable course is like FRE's 460. It's about environmental economics. During that course, we hold a debate, and my debate is topic is like about tipping, like because I'm not a native speaker or English, so like it's quite challenge, but it's quite fun for debating. Like I had like what showed in the slide, I had the debate. I had the same group with Elton. Then maybe you are asking me who's Elton? I will pass the mics to Elton. He will introduce himself.
Yeah, hi guys. Yeah, my name is Elton. Yeah, I'm a fourth year student here at the University of British Columbia, and I study FRE. Like Donlin or Leo said, I did take that course with them. But we did study tipping and or go into debating tipping, and we had a lot of fun there. Outside of that, in FRE, so FRE and LFS, we are a very tight-knit program here. We all collaborate with each other. We know a lot of people with each other. That's why I think we have such a strong bond with all the professors, the alumni, and students across like all 4 years of undergraduate school and at the master's program here. And that's how I kind of became more involved in FRE. to that, I am your program assistant here in FRE, to Dr. Karen McCausland, who is our program head. And what we do here at the undergraduate program, what we try to do is we build these networking events across all 4 years, try to get the students to get together in bonding events. And for example, in September, we had this meet and greet with these with FRE profs and the MFRE program. Last month and last week, we had some scavenger hunts, we had an escape room planned, and all that stuff. And then the coming months, we have a lot of other events planned too. So FRE, we are a very tight-knit group. We hang out a lot. We talk and bond well with the professors. And yeah, we if you come here with FRE, I'm sure you'll experience these events as well. And yeah, you'll enjoy these all 4 years or maybe more of undergraduate. And yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Elton. I really appreciate it. It's exciting that the two of you had an opportunity to debate in a class and are now here to share together what you enjoyed about, or what you are enjoying, Elton, about your time in the FRE program. As everyone who's introduced themselves has said, LFS really is a tight-knit community of staff, faculty, and students. We are so fortunate as the Faculty of Land and Food Systems to be, as I mentioned, a small to medium-sized faculty within the larger UBC community. Students in LFS have access to all of the same resources, opportunities, services, and supports that serve all members of the UBC Vancouver community. But being a part of LFS really does help you to feel connected to your fellow peers, to your professors, really getting to develop those relationships that are going to serve you well as you continue to move forward. And we really are there to support you and help you to build the best possible experience that you can as undergraduate students. And the degree that you get is going to prepare you, as I mentioned, for so many different types of careers, because the focus is on developing your skill sets, not just the technical skills, but also the soft skills, such as working together with groups, debating, in a really positive way, learning about different perspectives, creating positive collaborative working relationships. And it's really going to help you to go on to graduate school, as Donglin has done, or go into a professional stream, as you both will at some point, Elton and Donglin. It's really going to help prepare you and set you up for success down the road, and really provide you with some rich experiential learning opportunities that, as I mentioned before, help you to not only build your academic resume of experience, but also your non-academic resume of experience. So what we're going to do now is we're going to shift over to Q&A. Some questions have been submitted through Slido, and so I'm going to have an opportunity to share those with our panelists tonight and hopefully provide even greater insight into what learning is like within the faculty. So one of the questions that came up is, what is your favorite class and why? Donglin, I know you already shared that your favorite class is FRE 460. Elton, maybe you can share back what your favorite class is and why that kind of stood out for you so far in your undergrad program.
Yeah, of course. To be fair, my favorite course here in FRE, it just has to be any course with Dr. Michael Johnson. Sorry, Jonathan. Because I kind of have to say that because I do TA for him. So all these courses from LFS 252, that's the Intro to Stats course, FRE 326, that's our econometrics courses, and then 385, that's our business modeling and predictive analytics course. So pretty much any courses with him, I kind of love. Sorry again. And yeah.
That is a-okay to have more than one favorite professor. As I've worked in LFS myself for 11 years, and I am personally not a stats or a math person, and I am blown away at how many people love LFS 252, the statistics course that all students, whether you're in food, nutrition, and health, food and resource economics, or applied biology, or even global resource systems, all students have to take that class. And I'm always blown away by how many of them love their stats class. It just always takes me by surprise, but that's one that Mike teaches. One of the many amazing faculty members who teach in the FRE program. Jonathan, I wonder if you can talk a little bit about the community of professors that support students in FRE. You guys are a very tight-knit group of faculty members. Then I think that kind of tight-knit community feel infuses down into the students. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about how you collaborate together and what that community of teaching looks and feels like within the FRE program.
Yeah. I think it's nice because the classes really build on each other in a nice
Yeah.
way. And so there's aspects of kind of the introductory econ and stats classes that then filter into the kind of more specific classes later in the program. And so when you're doing spatial data analysis, that's building on the statistics course you're taking. When you're doing stuff on international food policy and trade, that's building on your microeconomics and macroeconomics classes that you've taken. And so we try to kind of talk with each other a lot between the faculty, but then also kind of try to interact with the students to get their perspectives on, what tools are missing as you're building up this foundation of knowledge, and how can we continually improve the curricula to make it as seamless as possible.
Yeah. That's amazing. And that's something I see too, right? In terms of looking at the curriculum and seeing the students who have gone through the program. I'm wondering, Jonathan, if you can share a little bit with the group in terms of I guess, like, what are some of the things that you as a professor hope to see from students in the classroom? Obviously, there is something for those of you who are in high school, you may not be familiar with something like office hours, which all professors hold for students if they want to come and ask questions outside of classroom time. I'm just curious if you can share a little bit and give some insight to the high school students about what your expectations might be like as a faculty member when they get into university and are in your classes, and maybe some of the things they should um, try to do more often, maybe than some students would be inclined to try.
Yeah, I think the most important thing that I see in terms of students enjoying their studies and getting a lot out of school and being successful out afterwards is a combination of curiosity and grit.
Mm. Yeah.
Are you there because you want to learn and not just check off boxes? And are you willing to put in the hard work to learn? Learning is fun and delightful, and like that's why I've kind of stayed in school my whole life, but it's also hard. And
Mhm.
you got to put in the work to get the outcomes that you want. Um, and so I think that would be, yeah, a little piece of advice is kind of work through it. If school is
Yeah.
easy, you're not doing it totally right. But it also needs to be fun and enjoyable. So striking that right balance.
I think that is such phenomenal advice. I'm wondering if Elton or Donglin, maybe Elton, I'll come to you first, Donglin afterwards. So I'm just curious if anything that Jonathan said resonates with you in terms of flipping that into advice for like your past self. Like if you were sitting in high school right now, what would you want, to give to yourself as a piece of advice about being a student at university? Maybe either something that's different or something that resonated off what Jonathan said that you would like current high school students to take away from you today?
Of course, yeah, yeah. So, like Jonathan said, of course, hard work is everything. You gotta push yourself to be the very best. But also, you could not forget that at university, especially, you have so much help around you. Like we said, with these
Mm,
office hours, there's EMS tutoring, there's like the library and your peers. Everyone, there's so many resources out there. Even the counseling hours, or even the LFS academic center. We offer so much help to each other, and yeah, just my advice to my first year would just seek help if you can.
yeah.
Don't be scared to reach out.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice because it can be really intimidating, right? To ask for help or it can be really scary, or maybe it's the first time that you've needed resources that you maybe didn't need in high school. So that can sometimes be uncomfortable for students, but I think that's really, really great advice in terms of breaking down some of those barriers and seeking help where you can find it. And it's just building your network of support, right? By building those connections. Thank you so much, Elton. Donglin, how about you? What kind of advice would you have for your past self slash the current high school students?
Well, like also one of my point is quite similar to Elton's, like don't afraid to approach people to ask
Mhm.
for help. I think especially for professor, like for my first 2 years, I really scared to approach to professors, but then I realized actually professors are all very nice. They can like you can get the knowledge actually they can help you to get the extra knowledge I think up apart from the like e-class, uh, like just what professor taught in class, like extra knowledge, and then like also like one more advice to me probably is like you because like the first 2 year I think is the FRE or some program other program you can change your major or something in first 2 years, so you need to like consider to or like to approach more people to say to take the advice, is this program major suitable for you, or do you really like this major, or what kind of what other majors you can choose for. So like I think you need to consider very carefully. That's what my advice.
Yeah, I think that's really fantastic advice. And I think, pursuing things you're passionate about, following the things that interests you. University is a very short time of your life, right? It's 4, maybe 5 years, depending on maybe 6. You do a co-op, maybe you go on exchange, maybe you're, taking a break or spreading out your classes for whatever reason. University is a very short time of your life, and you really want to make the most of it while you're there. So I think that advice to choose carefully, choose wisely, follow your passions is really, really important. And certainly, as someone who's gone through school and reflecting back on that time, I think that my some of my favorite in-classroom experiences of my own were from those ones that I took purely because I was interested in the subject matter, right? And that's led me down paths that at the time I couldn't have even foreseen. So I think that's really, really great advice. In terms of the things that you do outside of the classroom, what have you gotten involved in, Elton or Donglin, outside the classroom? Obviously, Elton, you've talked a little bit about your work with Dr. McCausland and helping to create community events and connection events for current FRE students. Is there something else you've gotten involved in either in the faculty or on campus that you want to highlight, or can you share a little bit more about what that experience is and how you got involved?
Yeah, I got involved into that all my programs here at UBC through connections with the professors. Like again, going back to because we're such a tight-knit group, all the professors kind of want you to help them out in their future studies or the research as well. So
Yeah.
I think they'll obviously reach out to you if you've been outstanding or whatsoever. So yeah, going back, like I said, I do TA for Mike Dr. Michael Johnson as well, in addition to helping Carol McCausland with the program as well. So all these experiences on campus really builds on my experience and will help me way further down the road. And yeah, that's some of my great experiences here on campus so far. And yeah.
Can you tell the group a little bit about what a TA is? Because that acronym might
Ooh,
not be as familiar to high
right.
school students as it is to all of you. So maybe
So,
what is the role and exactly what could you expect from your TA in the
right.
university experience?
So a TA stands for teaching assistant. To students coming off of high school, you can kind of see TAs as your friend, your someone you want to go to just in case you're too scared to talk to your professor, even though they're all nice, you know. Maybe they're too scary looking or whatever. You can go to your TA for help. But your teaching assistants are always there for you. They help you, they help guide you towards success in class by either teaching material in labs or providing office hours where you can come in and answer questions, and we'll give great solutions and we'll teach you your ways through it. Outside of that, we also help, we do mark your assignments. So don't bribe us, but we'll we'll make sure you guys are, staying on track and go for success. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. That's a really important role, and I think and a good example of a paid work experience that undergraduate students can pursue while studying. A great way to offset the cost of your education. A great way, as you mentioned, to build relationships with your professors, stay connected with your academics, create new relationships, and mentor the students coming after you. So, being a TA in class is a really valuable learning and work experience on both sides. Thanks for sharing, Elton. Donglin, I'm sure you got involved in things as an undergraduate student as well. I'm curious if you can share a little bit about what you got involved in or what stood out for you from your undergrad experience at UBC and in LFS.
Well, I think I don't have that wonderful TA experience like Elton. So that's why like I strongly recommend student like the new student to the university approach to professors because I just too scared to approach to those professors, so I probably lost some like opportunity to of this experience. But um, I think apart from that, the evolving, I think well, I was considering taking the master like graduate study. I need to approach to professor to get the recommendation letter. So that's my first step to start you to approach to professor. And then like I realize like those professors, all professors are ready to help you. And like you, I just feel after I study to ask for the recommendation letter with more collection with professor, I just feel more evolved with the system.
Yeah.
And also mm, yeah, I think yeah, so actually I don't have that much experience like Elton did, but I think mm, well I
That's okay. You don't all have to have the same experiences, and I think that's one of the beauties of being an undergrad student is not one student's experience is the same as the others, and how involved any of you choose to get both in UBC or the LFS community or specifically in your program is really up to you. Everyone's circumstances are different, whether you're holding a job, you have family commitments, maybe you're commuting to and from school, or you're living in residence, you're far away from home, you're close to your family. There's so many different factors that can play into your availability to engage in different experiences on campus or your desire to engage. The motto of UBC is to a must, it's yours. It really is an opportunity for any of you joining UBC to really customize your experience as undergrads and make your university experience the way that you want it and shape it the way you want it to. And I think that's really valuable, whether you're getting involved in a student club, you're getting a paid work experience, you go on exchange, you do co-op, you volunteer, you get involved in student government. There are just so many different ways for you to have impact and build experiences. The nice thing about the student services team within LFS is we are a kind of a one-stop shop for career engagement and academic support to really help guide you and help connect you with some of the different experiences that are on campus. Jonathan, I'm curious if you're thinking, can think about kind of the undergrads who have come through your classes. Just curious if you could share a little bit about what you see in the students that are coming through class right now that really excite you and really inspire you as a teacher in the classroom.
Yeah, what I've loved about my classes is students have just been really excited to be there. And I think I'm teaching an elective, and so it's not a required course. And so everyone is there because they actually want to kind of learn and engage with the
Mm,
material. Um, and that has just made it so fun. The
yeah.
discussions are lively. Even though the course is technical, it still feels like a conversation. Um, and so, like, yeah, that's really made it a joy to teach those students.
Yeah, that's incredible. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, an elective course for those of you um, joining us tonight is a course that you get to choose yourself. You are electing to take this class to fulfill some of your degree requirements. And so having a course that you get to choose obviously allows for you to choose something you're deeply passionate about. And in regardless of the major you choose, the program that you're in, you will have an opportunity to take some elective courses from a curated list that help guide you towards some subjects that are specific to your area of interest. Elton or Donglin, I'm wondering if there's an elective course that you took that particularly stands out for you as one that either could be an FRE or econ or commerce course, or maybe it was just some super random class that you took at UBC to supplement your program that stands out for you from your undergrad experience.
Of course, yeah, I can start first. Yeah.
Sure.
So one of my one of my restricted electives were the solder courses, the commerce minor courses, more
Yeah.
specifically the accounting course that we had there. Obviously, I believe I did take some grade 12 accounting courses as well, and obviously it's a huge difference. Well, I wouldn't say it's too big of a difference, but it's great engaging with the material. It's math, although I personally do enjoy the calculations, so it definitely fit well with my interests. So kind of why I went that direction and went towards that commerce minor courses of accounting. And yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, some great courses in commerce and econ that are really exciting outside of the faculty too, right? Yeah. Donglin, did you take an elective course that stands out for you as an undergrad?
Yeah. I think I remember is that equals 350. I took is about tax. This is like my initial uh like knowledge about the Canadian tax system, and I just really like it's like the tax system. Before that classes, I didn't like because like I first came to Canada where I was like the just came to UBC, so like I didn't know anything about the Canada. So like the learning about the tax system also helped me to uh become more involved in Canada and like also
Yeah,
feel more I also can sometimes I can help like myself in like reporting my tax, something like that. So this really helps.
that's great. Well, another question that came up was curious just about being in Vancouver. And Donglin, you moved here from China, as you mentioned. Elton, you're from Vancouver. Jonathan, you talked about some of the great things you love about living on the West Coast and specifically in Vancouver and close to UBC. So I'm going to ask all three of you to share a little bit. For students who didn't grow up or don't grow up in Vancouver and are moving to UBC and coming to live at the UBC Vancouver campus for the very first time, what are some of the things that you would recommend students get involved in, sites they see, experiences that they have, things that have really stood out for you from your time living in Vancouver or being at the UBC campus if you didn't um, grow up near the campus, Elton? Yeah. So, Donglin, maybe we'll start with you since you came from the furthest away.
Well, like actually, even though like my hometown is China, but before I moved to Vancouver, I studied in Singapore for 6 years.
Hmm.
I think Singapore weather there like always above 30 degrees, so like the weather's there so hot. Then when I first came to Vancouver, I think, oh my gosh, the weather! I really enjoy the weather in Vancouver. Also, compared to Singapore, I think. Vancouver has more inclusive culture and also like inclusive society. What shocked me before was like people when taking bus, they will say thank you to like bus driver. But before I moved to Vancouver, I couldn't even think about whoa, people will always say thank you to like show their appreciation to others. So I really loved like the culture, I like the inclusive atmosphere here.
That's wonderful. It's nice to hear. Yes, I also love when people thank their bus driver. It's such a simple thing, but it is a pretty unique Vancouver thing, I think, as well. Thank you so much for sharing, Donglin. Elton, as someone who grew up here, what stands out for you, or what do you want to make sure people know about the West
Of
Coast or
course.
living in
Yeah.
Vancouver?
Yeah, well, I first of all, I do thank the bus driver every day because I am a commuter student. So no matter if you're a commuter student or you live on campus, there's so much stuff you can do around UBC, especially with the commuter pass that you do have, the U Pass system here at UBC, where it's kind of an unlimited ticket where you can go wherever you want around the Metro Vancouver and go around just doing whatever you want.
On
More
transit,
specific.
to be clear.
Exactly, on transit. What that's on the
It's not an Uber
buses.
pass.
Exactly, the
You pass,
buses,
just
yeah,
to be.
or the trains. Not the Uber, yeah, right. And yeah, I do, and to that, I do take advantage of it a lot. Usually I do go to sports games here in Vancouver, more specifically the Vancouver Canucks, which is a professional hockey team that we do have in Vancouver. And yeah, and with that, I tend to go to that pretty frequently. And as students at UBC, you guys are eligible for a student discount. So you guys can go to these games for a cheaper price than usual. So whenever you're feeling too stressed out from exams or just need time off to go hang out with your friends, you guys can always go to these games or other activities around Metro Vancouver.
Yeah, lots to see and do in a big city, whether it's professional sports or amateur sports. So lots to get involved in. And yeah, taking advantage of those student discounts, whether it's for theater or sports or venues, museums, you name it, take advantage of those student discounts while you can, even for groceries and other things too, which is really a big help. Awesome. Great advice, Alton. So, Jonathan, I'm curious, you did share a little bit before, but is there anything else you want to highlight about living in Vancouver and taking advantage of being here on the West Coast?
Yeah, I think what's awesome is you have such a diversity of stuff you can tap into. Like when it's raining out, I'll go to improv shows downtown, or go to the some of the museums on campus.
Mm,
Uh, and that's kind of, yeah, that's really fun. And then when it's nice out, you can go outside, go hiking, go biking, go swimming. Um, yeah, it's just a wonderful place to be.
yeah, it is a great place to be. I moved here as well to also go to UBC and have made Vancouver my forever home. And I deeply love living out here on the West Coast as well for a lot of the reasons you all shared. So thank you so much to the three of you for sharing your insights, your perspectives, your experiences with those of us joining tonight and those of us watching on our YouTube channel. Is there any last words of wisdom, advice, or I guess something you'd want to share about the FRE program that we haven't had a chance to tap into tonight before we transition to the final slides of our presentation this evening? I'll look into the sky for those like brilliant words. Jonathan, over to you.
I would just say welcome. Like I would love to anyone watching, I would love to get to learn with you and teach you if you choose to come here.
Yeah, that's so wonderful. Thank you. Elton or Donglin, anything about the FRE program or kind of final sign-off words before we transition away for the group tonight?
Right. Yeah, yeah. Just well, as Jonathan said, of course, welcome to Vancouver, to FRE, to UBC, and most importantly, you made it, right? No matter that you are in UBC, that it is a tough thing to get into. So it's kind of a reward. And take it in, and yeah, take it in.
Oh, I think like the word just came out from my brain was like brave, because like probably this is the word I need to like say to like previous myself. I also to like can be the conclusion of what I'm saying today. Like don't be afraid to approach. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
like the brave. So I still need to highlight this word brave.
Yeah. Be brave, right? Take advantage, be proud of where you are. And of course, if you choose to apply to the Faculty of Land and Food Systems and the FRE program, we are very excited to welcome you here in the fall. So, why don't I have an opportunity then to share back with you the presentation so that we can take a look at the admission requirements for those of you who are in high school right now and looking to apply. The applications for UBC are open and you are welcome to submit your application at any time. For those of you applying from high school, these are the BC High School, the British Columbia High School admission requirements. You can just translate them to the equivalents in your province, in your country. If you're unsure, of course, at any time, you can visit the website you.ubc.ca, which is your home for all things prospective student applying to UBC, and review the admission requirements that are posted there. You do need to have your pre-calculus 12. Obviously, there's lots of math, data, and statistics and analysis. And so having a foundation in math is critical and important. Calculus 12 is recommended but not required, but would definitely give you an opportunity to be well prepared for your program looking ahead. English at the grade 12 level, and then some related courses in subjects like economics, statistics, computation, chemistry, physics. Any of your sciences are going to help set you up for success in this particular program. If you are here and a high school student, those are your admission requirements. If you're joining us and looking to transfer into the Bachelor of Science in Food and Resource Economics from another post-secondary institution, UBC does admit you based on or calculate your GPA basically on your most recently completed 24 to 30 transferable credits. Regardless of what you've taken in the post-secondary environment, you still do need to meet those high school prerequisites. So it's important to understand what those are. And you can utilize the BC Transfer Guide to find course equivalencies if you are unsure. bctransferguide.ca is the website for that to look at transferable credit between UBC and other institutions, both within BC and Canada, as well as around the world. If we've articulated a credit with that institution, it's in that database. Applications, as I mentioned, are open. December 1st is the deadline if you wish to submit early and be considered for scholarships. However, UBC's official application deadline is January the 15th. So if you're looking to apply for the fall, please make sure you get your applications in. Do your research, understand and know what it is you're applying for, follow your passions, and pursue the program that's really of interest to you. Check those admission requirements and make sure you're checking them off as you're submitting your application. And then, of course, if you are wanting to learn more, you're taking the step already to attend events and presentations to get a bit more insight and hopefully to help you make informed decisions about where you apply to in the program that you choose to pursue. If you have any questions after the presentation, you are more than welcome to contact the team at LFS Student Services. Academic advisors are happy to answer your questions by email or can arrange to meet with you over Zoom or in person if you'd like to chat with an advisor about applying into one of these programs. Tuan, one of our co-op students who's working in our recruitment team, is helpful in answering any student-related questions. lfs.ambassador@ubc.ca. Tuan is himself an FRE student, taking a break to work with us as a co-op student right now, so certainly would have insight into the FRE program for you. And then, of course, you can follow us on the faculty on Instagram or Twitter if you want to find out what's going on in the LFS community. And then you can explore our website at any time if you do wish to learn a little bit more about the faculty itself and to learn a little bit about how to study here. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We look forward to seeing your applications and then, of course, welcoming you to campus in the fall. Have a wonderful night, and thank you so much to Dr. Proctor, Donglin, and Elton for sharing their experiences with us this evening as well. Have a great